Yeah, so we're going to watch the PUBG 2025 roadmap. We haven't watched it yet, so this is going to be my first take, initial thoughts, everything. You know, I want to hear what you guys are thinking as we're watching it too. So we're going to dive in the PUBG 2025 roadmap released on March 18th, okay? Pretty much near the end of Q1. So expecting and hoping for something juicy. For the 8th anniversary of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Wait, was that like the slow-mo of them setting up the whole scene? I like the images.
안녕하세요. 펍지 배틀그라운드 디렉터 김태현입니다. 2024년은 펍지에 있어 정말 뜻깊은 한 해였습니다.
2024 was a meaningful year.
시작으로 새로운
The launch of Rondo and destruction of Sanhok. Okay, I'm going to try to reserve a lot of my comments for the end. Okay, we can bounce around. Okay, but what are your thoughts on Rondo? I feel like Rondo hasn't really been received that well. And then also the destruction of Sanhok. I think that is exactly the right terminology for this because they basically killed the map, right? Like it was actually unplayable for many months. And on top of it being unplayable, like the performance has just been horrible.
시스템, 탈 것, 총기, 모드를 거쳐
New systems, vehicles. Okay, yeah, we got an inflatable boat.
가능한 맵 산옥으로 마무리하기까지 쉬지 않고 달려왔던 것 같습니다. Unreal Engine 5의
and modes where they were new modes that they gave us that you drop in 64 people into a giant circle, or not a giant, into a very tiny circle where there's no loot. What the heck, man? Simply Boss, thanks for the 15 months, tier 1. Preparing for the adoption of Unreal 5. That's what we want to see. This is what we're here for, right? I mean, I've got 5 subs on the line with CDOM, okay? We know this. That if Unreal 5 is released by the end of the year, then I owe CDOM 5 subs. But I have a hunch that I'm right. I'm going to say it right now. I think UE5 won't be out until 2027, okay? I think 2027 UE5 at the earliest.
라이브 서비스에 생길 수 있는 빈틈을 최소화하고자 했고 단순 업데이트를 넘어 플레이어 여러분들이 진짜 원하는 것이 무엇인지 듣고 반영하는 과정을 무엇보다
Okay, so they just said right here. Hold on, can I go back just a little bit? We prioritized listening to what players truly wanted, okay?
원하는 것이 무엇인지
and incorporating that feedback into the game. All right? So hopefully our voice has been heard. And we're going to see magic in this video. All right? Magic.
듣고 반영하는 과정을 무엇보다 중요하게 생각했습니다. 저와 개발팀이 직접 다양한 나라의 플레이어분들을 만나 이야기를 나누며
They've personally met with players worldwide. They didn't meet with me. I don't know who they may have met from North America or from the Western region. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anyone that they talked to.
펍지가 각 지역의 플레이어분들에게 어떤 경험을 제공해야 할지 끊임없이 고민했고 이러한 노력들이 의미 있는 결과로 이어졌다고 생각합니다. 오랜 시간 함께 해주신 분들 그리고 새롭게 펍지를
Okay, I don't want to make fun of people, okay? But I think he could have a little bit more excitement. I just do. All right? He could look a little more excited about his game.
찾아와 주신 모든 플레이어분들께 진심으로 감사드립니다. 2025년에도 흥미로운 신규 콘텐츠 개발.
They're going to focus on 3 key areas for PUBG's growth, okay? 3 key areas.
라이브 서비스의 고도화, 그리고 장기적인 서비스
Developing exciting new content, enhancing the live service. Okay, so we don't really have the cheating problem in NA, but it's all over in EU and in Asia and stuff, right? Get rid of the cheaters. Okay, I like exciting new content, depending on what that is, right? I think that's a matter of perspective. Okay.
준비, 이 세 가지를 중심으로
Building up long-term sustainability. There's nothing wrong with any of those things.
PUBG를 더 발전시켜 나가고자 합니다. 새로운 컨텐츠를 통해 플레이 경험을 확장하고 기존
Expand with new content. Okay. So what I'm hoping they mean by expand with new content is modding and Unreal 5. Give that to us. That is the new content that we want and that we need. Okay? This whole thing with black budget extraction shooter. I mean, I'll give my opinion on some of that stuff here later on. They might even touch on it here in this video. I don't know. They're trying to put a bunch of this stuff under the PUBG umbrella, and you know, I don't know if they're stretching themselves too thin or what, but
시스템을 다듬어 보다 안정적인 환경을 만들면서 앞으로도 PUBG가 오랫동안 여러분과 함께할 수 있도록 미래를 위한 초석을 다지는 것이 목표입니다.
to lay a good foundation. The foundation's already here, right? That's why everyone's playing the game. It's the foundation, dude.
그럼 지금부터 2025년 PUBG의 개발.
All right, I'm gonna help him out here. Okay, I'm gonna help him out with this. Now, let's take a look at our development roadmap for 2025. There we go. I added the excitement for him.
로드맵을 소개해드리겠습니다.
Wow, I didn't even know that last line, but that was it. Yeah.
펍지에서 월드는
Exciting new content. Okay.
단순히 전장을 넘어 플레이어들이 랜드,
This statement right here bugs me, man. Where is it?
펍지에서
PUBG worlds aren't just battlegrounds. Like, is the entire game about dropping into the island with 100 people and just getting the weaponry and eliminating your opposition? Isn't that what the game is? Right? Because there's a finite time, right? So to me, in my head, survival games are games where your time is not finite. You go and you can survive and you can spend exorbitant amount of time gathering, building, whatever that may be, right? And with PUBG, the longest game is like 30 minutes. You know, that's shorter with the smaller maps because they're just smaller, so the circles have to be smaller. But it's only a few minutes. So like these type of statements bug me because that just means that they're looking to promote hiding and just scouring the map looking for stuff and then maybe get into one fight. Gambling. Jimmy Seki, thanks for the 38 months, tier 1, dude.
월드는
That's why it bugs me.
단순히 전장을 넘어 플레이어들이 랜드, 룻, 서바이브의 모든 과정을 경험하고 각자의 스토리를
By the way, is the volume good? Can you guys hear it good or should it be a little louder? Volume is good. Okay, good.
만들어 나가는 공간입니다.
Gosh, let land loot survive, man.
확장하기 위해 다양한 변화를 준비하고 있습니다. 우선 연말에는
Hey, expanding the world in different ways.
계획하고 있습니다.
Major world updates. Just destruction on all maps. If they can make it not buggy, would be great.
플레이어 여러분께서 사랑하시는 기존 맵을 전혀 다른 느낌으로 경험할 수 있도록 변화시킬 예정입니다. 익숙하면서도
Okay,
새롭게
so they just said they're going to transform the old maps. Gosh. Please. Please, Pub Jesus. Right? Save us. Don't ruin Erangel or Miramar. Please. I'm open to the destruction. The only problem is that when it comes to the destruction, you saw what happened with Sanhok, right? It ruined the map. Like, performance has been horrible. Illusionize, thanks for the prime for 6 months. The destruction, okay? The destruction is very cool. I like the destruction. I think it's fun. I think the destruction adds an element to the game where it allows people to hide like they do, right? Which is fine. If people want to hide in the game, we do it. I'm a rat, right? But it allows you to have multiple ways to explore a building without having to flashbang every room, or you could throw nades in and blow open walls and you can see, right?
다가올 월드를 기대해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
또한 콜라보레이션과 시즈널리티를 더욱
More focus on collaborations. Wow. Okay. So collaborations, what does that mean? Are we getting the Terminator collab? Gosh, what else could we get? The Rambo collab? A John Wick collab? Could we get collabs with, you know, stuff like that? You know, we already got a bunch of K-pop bands. Dragon Ball Z. What are some good collabs we could have? You know what, like, get some other celebrities in there, right? Like Keanu Reeves, right? Get Dwayne Johnson, get guys like Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone and Arnold and oh gosh, there's so many. You could get, you know, big, like famous bodybuilder collabs, right? Like Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall and Hafthor Bjornsson. Oh, right? Chuck Norris. Yeah. Superman. Yeah, the guy, who's the guy that is, I'm really bad with celebrity names, but the guy who played Geralt and Superman. You know, you could get Ben Affleck, or you could do mobster stuff, right? Henry Cavill, yeah. You could do mobster collabs. Get the guys from Peaky Blinders and stuff. That'd be super cool. How about a Walking Dead collab? They already got zombies, right? Walking Dead collab. That'd be sick.
강조하여 게임 내 월드에서도 다양한 이벤트와 테마를 경험할 수 있도록 할 예정입니다. 기존의 월드가 단순히 반복되는 공간이 아니라 시기에 따라 색다른 분위기와 플레이
The world will
스타일을
change with the seasons. Okay. I like this idea. If the world's going to change with the seasons, then just get rid of Vikendi and then just have Erangel, right? And then in the winter time, it'll be snowy, right? Problem solved for everyone, right? Miramar's the desert, okay? So that is what it is, right? But hey.
제공할 수 있도록 발전시켜 나가겠습니다. 여기에
So then what would they do? Hey, it's Vikendi and it's summertime now, so all the snow's gone. That might be interesting, actually. And they flip-flop with the seasons. My big thing with Vikendi, man, is get rid of the damn bears, get rid of the 3 gear, get rid of the thermal, get rid of the bears, get rid of the self AEDs, the critical response kits, and the gimmicks, man. Get rid of them, and then the map would be good.
더해 테이고, 에란겔, 미라마에도
Okay.
지형 파괴 시스템
Okay, destructible terrain. Tatego, Miramar, Erangel. I like this. What scares me is what we already talked about. What scares me is it wrecked Sanhok. The performance was, it ruined the game, right? Your frames went to doo-doo. You would have random times where your game would freeze or whatever, right? You could just tell it was choppy. And oh, I see someone saying it's just the holes, not the buildings. Oh, so it's just the terrain. When you throw grenades and stuff, you'll blow holes in the ground. Okay, well, I guess that's not bad. I like the holes in the ground. I like make the pickaxe more effective, or get it out of the game, man. It's just taking spots in the loot pool, right? The pickaxe takes so long that we're able to literally play that hi ho digging song from Snow White, off to work we go, and we're still not done digging the damn hole. Okay? That's how long it takes. I don't know if these devs understand the time to kill in this game, but if you're caught with a damn pickaxe in your hand in the middle of a field, you might as well pull your pants around your ankles. You're much better off just carrying one more grenade. So make the pickaxe better so that you can just chop a few times and dig a hole, or just delete it, you know? I don't mind the holes. The holes are a good addition. It adds an area where you can, you know, adds more playability.
PUBG의 월드는 앞으로도 정체되지 않고 계속해서 변화하고 확장될 것입니다.
All right.
PUBG에서는 게임 플레이 경험을 확장.
Get this guy a fucking coffee, like right now. This guy's got to wake up, man. Like, it just looks like his eyes he's half asleep, man. And I don't know if it was like they scheduled it at work with their like, hey guys, listen, today's the big day. We're going to be doing the recordings for the PUBG 2025 roadmap, and you got to work at 12. Okay, so you got to work 12 hours. Yeah, no breaks today. So, but then try to be as excited as you can after work so that you can do this video. He just looks tired. That's all. I don't know.
할 수 있는 다양한 콘텐츠를 지속적으로 고민하고 있으며 2025년에도 액션, 달 것, 아이템 등 다양한 피처에 대한 실험과 개선이 이루어질 예정입니다.
I'm sorry. I have to go back and watch it again so I can read what he said, because he just looks so tired. Give these guys some time off, man. Let them sleep.
지속적으로 고민하고 있으며 2025년에도
continue experimenting with and improving various features. Players' actions, vehicles, and items. Okay, so players' actions. How about this? Help with this, man. Help with that. Do like some kind of a thing where you can't do this, man. What the hell? Player actions. How about like make it so like how do you seat swap instantaneously from one seat to the next? You know, let's work on the vehicle updates. Let's make it more, let's make it skill based when you're in a car and you're shooting from a car, that your bullets also have to accommodate for the velocity of your car, so that all the advantage isn't on the person driving the car, or in the car, we'll say. So that you don't just aim directly on your target while the guy who's on the ground has to lead their shots as they're sitting still. You're sitting ducks, right? Let's add those types of features.
다만 단기적인 업데이트보다는 장기적으로 사랑받을 수 있으며 전 맵에 적용하는데 부담이 없는 콘텐츠를 중심으로 개발하고.
There we go. We got the smile. Okay, so seamlessly integrated across all maps, these like stuff that's long term, something like that, a change like that would be long term, right? Because it would add to the element of the game that people love, which is the difficulty, the skill-based playing, right? And when you see kills from a car, they're not as impressive as someone knocking someone out of a car.
우선 플레이어 액션을 다각화하고
polishing player actions. Okay, good.
탑승 시의 액션을 확장하고
vehicle related actions. Yes.
기능을 다양화하여.
Wait, H key? That's like that thing that's like the player vault. They're doing H key things, like the lifting up of other players and stuff. I think those concepts are very cool. I really like that. The co-op lifting someone up into another place, and then they can pull you up like to rooftops or different levels of buildings and stuff. That's all super cool. The problem is it doesn't work. It doesn't work, man. Half the time you go down and you're like, oh, the feature's busted. It's broken. It's like a folded shield, dude. And then, right? So here we go. I'll give you a little example. You're there like this, right? And you're like, get up, right? Come on, man, get up. And the other guy's like, I'm gonna try, but I can't. And you're like, just do it, man, just do it, just get up. And all the meanwhile, you got the enemy looking at you through a scope and they're like, what are these morons doing? Oh, there's a free kill. And then you just get yoinked because you're running around the side of the building trying to find the place that works. And it doesn't. So hopefully they're working on fixing it. You know, like the ideas are phenomenal, but the implementation is lacking. How's that go again? Go back in the VOD.
문을 당기거나 아이템을
Pulling open doors or throwing items. So are those doors in buildings? So wait. Pulling open doors. Yeah, I'm a little confused on that because you just walk up to a door and then push the key and it opens the door. Car doors. Why do you need to pull open the door? You just hit the button and you just get in. So when you, because right now all you do is, when you go to open a door, you push open the door. You're always pushing the door open. And then that way, like when you're, every time you're going into a room, you push the door open. And then if you hit the key again, it like closes it behind you, right? But I'm wondering if when, for example, okay, someone's on the inside. How many times has this happened to you when someone pulls a motorcycle into a building and parks the motorcycle behind the door? Because every time you go to open it, you're pushing. But if you go up and it says door blocked, you could pull it open, right? That might be kind of cool. It'd be very situational, right? But it's an option. So throwing items. Is the headless man here going to throw an item out of the car?
던지는 등의 새로
There's no head on that guy. It looked like he just chucked something out from the side like a nade. That's pretty cool.
작용을 테스트하며 검토하고 있습니다. 배틀로얄 관련 컨텐츠
Okay, I like that because that is something that allows the driver to be able to participate. Usually, you'd never want to be the driver because, there's multiple things. One, usually you want to be the driver because you don't trust someone else to be the driver, right? Number two, but if you are the driver, you're defenseless unless you have a pistol. But now, with the repair kit and the smoke gun, who wants to carry a pistol anymore? So then, if you could huck nades, right? Maybe you're like, all right, guys, I'm going to drop you off and then I'm going to drive and keep being a distraction. I'm going to drive right by him and just huck some nades in there, right? That's kind of cool. Glacius, thanks for the Prime for 37 months. I like stuff like this. Stuff like this is enhancements to the game. They're not adding any like gimmicky items like a Panzer or something, right? It's items that are already in a game and it's allowing you to use them for different functions.
역시 추가 및 개선이 이루어집니다. 차량을 가릴 수 있는 위장망과
The headless guy is killing me, dude.
같은 신규 아이템은 물론
Camouflage net to conceal vehicles. Hold on, let's see that again.
가릴 수 있는 위장망과 같은 신규 아이템은 물론
Where'd it go? Chad, where'd the car go? It just disappeared. Yeah. This is probably one of those items. I don't know. I don't think this would fool anybody. Like, if anything, you see one of these on there, then you know there's an active team there, right? Because if you see a car parked at a compound, sometimes you might be thinking, hey, maybe they're dead already, right? Or maybe they moved on and took a different car or something like that. If you put one of these on the car, they're like, okay, there's a team hiding here, right? This is just a red flag to be like, yo, there's a team hiding here. I'm wondering if does it block any bullets? Like, does it have any health? I know it's not realistic, right? But it's a video game that we're talking about here. So like, if you put something like this on, maybe it adds like a little protective shield, hides your tires maybe so that they can't be shot out. I don't know. But the other concern that I have with these types of items is the fact that they take up spots in the loot pool, right? So once again, we're going to have another item that when you drop in and you're like, oh man, there's 4 people by me, I need to get a gun. And you run around and you find inflatable raft, folded shield, mortar, and a car cover. Wow, that really helped me out a lot, while they landed right on a gun and then they kill you, right? So to me, if they put stuff like this in the game, I'll just say this. I think they need to do a revamp of that system, okay? Put bikes around the map in bike racks, take inflatable rafts and put them in certain crates around the maps. I think there needs to be designated areas where like you can go and get mortars on the side of a building somewhere if you want to use them, to get these items out of the loot pool. So when you land in, you at least get a gun. You get an armor, you get a helmet, you get a gun and some meds, right? Put these cool, like, because I'm not saying that these items are not cool, right? I like the folded shield. Do I think the inflatable raft is useless? Yeah, maybe there's a situation where you might need one, where there's no boat, and you're like, gosh, I could just go a little bit faster than swimming. I could pick up the inflatable raft at this chest right next to the warehouse, right? But it would take these items out of the loot pool. It would make the game so much better. Because it would eliminate, believe me, it'll still be RNG on the drop, right? Because you might land initially on a first aid and they might get a pistol. Well, that automatically puts you at a disadvantage. But you should at least be able to get something on the drop instead of finding these types of items. Because doing this, it's kind of like bringing us back to the time when you would land in and there'd be nothing but clothes on the ground. Because clothes are worthless. They don't help you eliminate your opponents. Just like this car cover doesn't help you eliminate your opponent on the drop. But I think it's cool.
UI 및 매치 로그 개선을 진행하여 전투 흐름을 보다 명확하게 전달할 예정입니다. 이에 더해 UI
Okay, so they're fixing the flare guns, which is good, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen people waste a flare gun. Because they either don't know how to use it, they don't wait for the proper time. Tail slide, thanks for the 31 months. Polishing other UI elements, okay.
사운드 전반에 대한 폴리싱을 진행하여 시각적, 청각적 피드백을 개선함으로써 더욱
Hold on. What did that just say? Gameplay sounds to improve visual and audio feedback. So maybe they're going to fix the no footstep issue, right? When someone's full running behind you and then you can't hear them and they somehow get you. I wish that they had a way to do some of that, right? I know, at least in the past, I heard that there's only so many audio inputs that you can hear through the game. And when there's more than that threshold, there's some sounds that you don't hear. But man, there should be a priority list, right? Where the priority is like, if there's footsteps by you, the footsteps take priority, right? There needs to be a priority list.
더욱
Like if some guy's shooting 500 meters away, that should not take priority over footsteps within 10 meters of you, right?
몰입감 있는 전투 경험을 제공하고
Okay, I don't like to bounce around. I just thought of something with the car cover. And Aran, you just brought it up. You kind of made me think of this. You can not get shot through the window with the cover. What if you put the cover on if you could still be inside the car when the cover's on it? Talk about epic troll. You could put the car cover on and have your whole squad hiding inside the car with the cover on it, and then some poor soul come over and take the cover off, and then you just hop out and smoke them. How about that?
하고자 합니다. 또한 월드 내에서의 상호작용 요소도 확대됩니다. 기존의 맵 요소를 단순히 활용하는 것을 넘어 추가적인 동물 AI를 도입하여
They're bringing more animal AI. Like what? Like the polar bears? I mean, okay. Let's just assume that the situation with the polar bears was better, right? Where the bears, okay, because the situation right now, you have bears and they're bouncing up and down, they're zorping all over, they're teleporting around, they do a bunch of weird things, right? It doesn't even look like they belong in the game. They don't even belong. So we're going to have other animals doing the same thing, bouncing around, doing all this stuff. So I'm just saying, assuming, let's say assuming that the polar bears were good. They wouldn't be good regardless, in my opinion. But let's just assume that they function like a polar bear would. You see them walking around. They don't zip and teleport and zorp all over the place, right? Let's assume that. If they want to add squirrels and like birds or whatever, and they want to add a more immersive environment, okay, you know, like that kind of stuff would be in the environment. I get all that. But it has to be right. It can't look like boop, man. It can't look like something that is like the polar bears right now look like animal AI that was like in video games in the 2000s. It needs to be more polished. Gosh. I don't want to get into some of the stuff that I'm probably going to talk to later, but my thing is this. This is what resources are being spent on, right? This is what resources are being spent on. And then here's another thing. We could play a little game here, chat. As we're watching this video, we could play a game together. Let's see. What could the game be? The game is, because they said they're implementing things based on our feedback, okay? We can play a little game called Who Asked for This, right? That's the game we're going to play. So, chat, which one of you? Who asked for this? That's the game we're going to play right now. Who asked for this? It was Visions. That was me. Sorry.
맵에 더욱 생동감을 부여하고 파괴시키면 연막이 생성되는 가스
New interactive items like gas tanks that release smoke. Sorry, I'm allergic to smoke.
같은 신규 오브젝트를 개발하여
Gas tanks that release smoke when destroyed. I think that's cool. Stuff like this is cool. I don't mind stuff like this. Thank you. Chat. I don't mind things like this. This is cool. You know, you could be in a situation like a lot of these things will play into map awareness and what you can and can't do. But like, what if you're in one of these buildings and you're trapped and all of a sudden another team shows up from the other side and you don't have any smokes, right? You could buy yourself some time. Something like this, right?
를 개발하여 교전 양상을 변화시킬 수 있도록 할 예정입니다.
Yeah, new tactical layers, exactly.
더불어 항아리, 자판
Interactive objects. This is the stuff that they need to stick those items in, right? Folded shield, mortar, inflatable boat, ba. Like, right? Get it out of the loot pool. Put them in things like this.
판기와 같은 인터랙티브 오브젝트를 전맵에 적용하여
Yeah, or vending machines. They already have the capability. They have the capability.
보다 다양한 환경 속에서 색다른 플레이를 경험할 수 있도록 준비 중입니다.
지난 한 해 펍지는 배틀로얄뿐만 아니라
The in-game PM team. Over the past year, PUBG has expanded beyond Battle Royale, okay? It has?
색다른
PUBG has expanded beyond Battle Royale? Oh, with like the Blue Bomb Rush mode. And what's the other one? The Hot Drop mode and the Team Deathmatch and stuff? I think they have really good intentions with a lot of these things. The 1v1 mode, the zombie mode, yeah. I feel like they have good intentions with this, but the problem is that they don't listen to the feedback and they don't implement the feedback. They don't implement new things based off the feedback, and they release it the way that it was and they never touch it again, and then something has potential and it dies, right? Like the Blue Bomb Rush mode. My gosh, that mode was fun. But there were things that they could have done to it to actually make it better. But they never touched it again, man. They never touched it again. And then they just take it out and they say, oh, well, you know, it wasn't popular. So, I don't know. So to me, like the hot drop, the hot drop mode, where it's like 64 people dropping into a little teeny tiny circle, there's a bunch of feedback that they could take from that, right? Add more loot so that when you land, there's like actual stuff on the ground. Get rid of the silly gimmicky items from that mode so that when you land, you actually get a gun and some armor. So it's more fun. But guess what? That mode will probably disappear too. They have so many things that they could have done with these modes, but they're not successful because they don't adapt. Milky Taco, thanks for the 20 months.
경험을 제공하며
So please don't tell me you're going to do new ones. Please.
사랑을 받아왔습니다. 특히 팀 데스매치, 인텐스
Permanent modes like Team Deathmatch. Team Deathmatch is good. Although there needs to be things that they do to these maps to make them better, in my opinion.
배틀로얄 같은 상시 운영되는 모드는 물론 커뮤니티 피드백을 기반으로 도입된 핫드랍 모드, 그리고 완전히
Survivors Left Behind. What was that? What was Survivors Left Behind?
피드백을 기반으로
The genre defying.
도입된 핫드랍
That was the zombies? Huh. I mean, I played it a couple times. That was the one where we went into those levels, right? And we navigated through to defeat that. It was all right. I wouldn't say it was a total failure. It was mid. We'll just say it was mid.
모드, 그리고 완전히 다른 장르의 재미.
But hold on. to go back and to play our game that we've been playing, chat. The zombie survival mode. Who asked for that? Chat, who asked for that? I didn't. I didn't ask for the zombie mode. Exactly.
의미를 선사한 SLB 굶주린 자들까지 플레이어 여러분들이 보여주신 높은 관심과 애정 덕분에 더욱 의미 있는 한 해가 되었습니다.
Nose Army, thanks for the prime for 26
IVR,
months.
핫드랍 같은 기존 모드를 꾸준히 개선하며 플레이어 피드백을 반영해 신규 모드들을 실험적으로 운영할 계획입니다.
Based on player feedback, okay. All I can ask, PUBG, please, if you're doing these modes, don't abandon them right away. Make changes to them actively and let people try them. And then if it has bad response, then revert the change and try something different. Gosh, PUBG had, you want to talk about genre-defying things, or genre-defining moments? They had the comeback BR, which I thought was a genius idea. Okay? It started out on Tego, and then they implemented a new version of it on Vikendi. But my gosh, that could have been amazing. Because if they just listened to some feedback, made it more skill-based instead of RNG, to where you land equidistant around the outside of the edge, the circle is always in the very center, and you get loot around the edge that would spawn every time you got in there, you could live in a comeback BR inside of the BR to come back and get in. Most of people's problems was that you could never find loot. Whoever got gifted the zone in the center just got to sit there and hide with a shotty and kill you on the way in, blah, blah, blah. And if they just made those minor changes to it, it could have been BR game changing, right? And it could have added an element that was super fun within the game so that you could come back and join your team and keep the gear that you found. It was a great idea, but they never made any changes to it and instead just got rid of it because they never tried anything new. So like with these modes, please implement changes. Listen to what people tell you. And then don't just get rid of it right away. Make changes so that when it does finally become fun, you can keep it. Morass, thanks for the 7 months, tier 1.
반응이 좋은 모드는 핫드랍처럼 반복 서비스하거나 장기 운영을 검토하는 방식으로 발전시켜 나갈 예정입니다.
Modes like Hot Drop that got positive feedback. So they're saying that the other modes didn't get any positive feedback, which is crazy because the Blue Bomb Rush, I personally loved it. I know a lot of people who played Counter-Strike that now play PUBG love that mode. If they would have made more changes to that mode, it could have been great. It could have been something that you could say, hey, you know what? I'm sick of the BR for now, but I love the PUBG gameplay, gunplay. And instead of going to play Counter-Strike, I want to go play the Blue Bomb Rush mode from PUBG, right? I don't know where they're getting the feedback from.
좋은 모드는 핫드랍처럼 반복 서비스하거나 장기 운영을 검토하는 방식으로 발전시켜 나갈
Because the Hot Drop mode, I'll tell you what, Hot Drop mode, I don't think I've had fun in that mode one time. Every time I drop into Hot Drop mode, I drop in, I don't get a gun, and I die. And then you look at everyone else and they just lay prone on the rooftops and stuff because they don't get guns either. So everyone's just waiting until everyone's pretty much dead so they can go and loot the bodies and try to get a gun, right? I think more people had fun playing Blue Bomb Rush than they did in Hot Drop mode. So where are they getting the feedback from?
나갈 예정입니다. 또한 기존 인기 이벤트 모드들의 확장도 이루어집니다.
PUBG를 새로운 스테이지와 함께 재서비스하는 것은 물론
What is Pubg? What is that? The return of Pubg. Is that the mode where one person controls the blue zone and you have it, and then if you kill them, you can take it from them? Is that the mode? Because that was a fun mode.
PUBG 기반의 로그라이크 모드인 프로젝트 사이클롭스
The roguelike mode, Project Cyclops. What's that? Project Cyclops, is that a rogue-like mode? If people don't sneak around enough.
그리고 굶주린 자들 미라마와 같은 맵 기반 확장 콘텐츠도 기획 중입니다. 외부 개발사와의 공동 개발을 통해 완성도 높은 웰메이드 모드를 제작하는 새로운 시도도 진행 중입니다. 앞서 말씀드린 프로젝트 사이클롭스도 공동 개발에
Oh my gosh. So they're doing PUBG Vampire Survivors? We're going to play the game again, chat. Who asked for this? Who asked for this? When you're like, man, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you know what we really need? We really need a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Zombie Survivors. And what's frustrating to me, chat, and I'm not saying like something like this would be bad, right? I'm not saying that something like this is bad, because I like Zombie Survivors. Gosh, I played Halls of Torment. I like those kind of games. But the other reality is, it's not like the current state of the game that we play is in this great spot where all these people are playing, right? So to me, the frustrating thing is I see resources spent making PUBG Vampire Survivors when the main game is struggling big time, and they could use resources allocated to this somewhere else, like bringing UE5 to the forefront, right? And someone might say, oh, well, they're hiring other studios to do it, right? They're other people are working on it. Well, the money that is spent on those other studios working on stuff like this could be spent on other people working on Unreal 5. That's my point. So it's like, okay, a PUBG zombie survivor game. Like, could you get a couple hours of entertainment out of this? Like, sure, but the reality is that these resources could be spent elsewhere. But hey, I don't work at the company. I don't own any shares in the company. I'm just a guy that plays this game, right? And I see it, and we're watching the roadmap.
일환이며 올해는 아니겠으나 내년 상반기를 목표로는 스타브리즈 엔터테인먼트와의 협업을 통해 페이데이 모드를 개발 중에 있습니다. PUBG의 모드는 단순한
Yeah, shoot.
중입니다. 외부 개발사와의 공동 개발을 통해 외부 개발사와의 공동 개발을
So they said, hold on.
중입니다. 앞서 말씀드린 프로젝트
Yeah, they said it right here.
PUBG의 모드
With Starbreeze Entertainment. Yeah, so they're hiring other studios. They could be hiring other people to help get Unreal 5 online. That's my problem. You know, the problem that I have with what's going on here. But hey, I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. What do you mean they get less rich? They wouldn't get less rich at all. Honestly, if they did something to revive PUBG in the Western regions, they would make way more money than PUBG Vampire Survivors. They would make so much more money. There's more money to be spent from the Western regions than anywhere else. We're talking about a game that had millions of people playing it in the Western region, and the people in the Western region spend a lot of money, right? And they're gone. We're down to 5,000 people in NA, right?
PUBG의 모드는 단순한 이벤트가 아니라 플레이어들이 보다 다양한 방식으로 게임을 즐길 수 있도록 돕는 중요한 컨텐츠인 만큼 앞으로도 여러분들의 의견을 적극 반영하여 발전시켜 나가겠습니다.
2024년 펍지는 프리미엄 차량 브랜드와 셀럽 등 다양하고 매력적인 IP 콜라보레이션 콘텐츠를
Partnering with premium car brands and celebrities. So we did the Lamborghini deal was pretty cool. What were the other ones? They had Aston Martin and other things. I don't really remember any of the celebrities. Ducati, yep. These skins are cool. The car skins. But the problem that I have with them is that they just plug it into their gambling system. It costs so much money. Costs so much money. That's the main issue that I have with it. So like to see new deals, cool, but it's so insane.
선보였는데요. 올해도 작년에 이어 두 번의 프리미엄 차량 브랜드와의 콜라보레이션을 준비하고 있습니다.
Two more
프리미엄
top
차량
automotive
콘텐츠를 기획할
brands.
때
All
저희가
right.
중점적으로 고민하는
What could they be doing? What new brands? Ferrari? They're gonna do Ferrari. They do who else could they do? Audi, Porsche, Tesla. You know, Jeep would be a cool one with the UAZs. Jeep would be cool. Maybe do like a Ford one with the Bronco. They could do a lot of stuff like that. Hummer. I don't know.
부분은 어떻게 하면 플레이어분들께 더 현실에 가까운 몰입감 있는 경험을 선사할 수 있을까 하는 점입니다. 차량 브랜드에서 제공하는 외장 색상이나 인테리어 같은 옵션을 직접 바꿔보면서 나만의
Allowing players to customize their colors and all that stuff by spending as much as you could spend on a real car, on an in-game car.
차를 만들어 보는 경험 같은 것이 바로 이러한 몰입감을 만들어내는 핵심 요소라고 생각합니다. 올해도 실제 차량의 고증을 살린 디테일과 다양한 편집 옵션을 준비하고 있으니 많은 기대 부탁드립니다.
꾸준히 많은 관심을 받아온 아티스트 콜라보레이션에 더해 올해는 새로운 분야와의 협업으로 펍지 플레이 경험을 더욱 풍부하게 만들고자 합니다. 그 일환으로 그동안의 콜라보에 이어 세계적으로 활발한 활동을 펼치고 있는
Global celebrities. We talked about this earlier. Global celebrities. Who could we bring in, right? Keanu Reeves. Right? Do the John Wick collab. Get in Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. You get Henry Cavill in. You could do the oh gosh, Geralt, or you could do Superman. There's so many good ones. We'll probably get more new genes though. Vin Diesel.
셀레브리티와의 콜라보레이션이 계속될 예정입니다. 또한 패션 브랜드와 협업하여 감각적이고 트렌디한 콘텐츠도 준비 중.
A fashion brand to introduce stylish and trendy content. All right. All right. Hopefully they're in military fashion.
인데요. 펍지가 보여드릴 수 있는 재미와 감성을 극대화하기 위해 IP 콜라보레이션을 통해 더욱 색다른 경험을 제공하겠습니다. 다양한 분야의 개성 있는 IP가 펍지의 플레이 경험에 녹아드는 콜라보레이션 콘텐츠를 여러분이 계속 궁금해하시고 즐겨주시는 과정을 보는 것은 제작자로서도 또 한 명의 펍지 팬으로서도 굉장히 설레고 즐거운 일입니다. 언제나
Okay, so they're probably bringing in more like K-pop bands, stuff like that. You know, more pink skins, skirts, lingerie, this and that. We're going to play the game again. Who asked for this? Who asked for it?
보내주시는 성원에 감사드리며 여러분의 피드백을 바탕으로 더 많은 분들께 오래도록 사랑받고 즐거운 경험을 드리는 콜라보레이션 콘텐츠를 만들 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
저희 펍지는 그동안 게임 플레이를 해치지 않으면서도 좀 더 특별하고 프리미엄한 커스터마이즈 경험을 줄 수 있는 상품을 선보이기 위해 노력해 왔는데요.
Like inflatable boats. Yes.
성형 무기 스킨과 스페셜 탈거 스킨 같은 것들이 대표적인 예시가 아닐까 싶습니다. 올해는 이 흐름을 이어서 컨텐더라는 새로운 시스템을 준비하고 있습니다. 컨텐더는 일종의 캐릭터 시스템인데요. 한층 더 개성과
Contender. What did that say? Enhances individuality and immersion. What more individuality and immersion?
한층 더 개성과 몰입감을 느낄 수 있도록 설정에 따라 변화하는 외형을 비롯해서 여러 매력적인 전용 기능과 새로운 성장 요소를 갖춘 하이엔드 컨텐츠가 될 수 있도록 기획하고
Progression
있습니다. 아직
elements?
구체적으로 확정된 건 아니지만
So what on your character could you get that'll have progressive? I mean, are they talking about progressive skins that you wear? Like, oh, like you get progressive clothing skins? Oh, man. Just give me progressive undies. And then as I progress it, the bulge gets bigger.
제작소를 통해 첫 캐릭터를 공개할 예정이고요. 컨텐더에 대한 좀 더 자세한 내용은 앞으로의 업데이트를 통해 공유드리도록 하겠습니다. 마지막으로 펍지의 프리미엄 컨텐츠는 단순히 유료 아이템만을 의미하는 게 아니라 BP와 같이 게임 플레이 보상을 포함해서 게임 내에서 금전적 가치로 환산될 수 있는 모든
This is all gambling.
아이템 프로그레션 컨텐츠를 의미합니다. 저희는 앞으로도
BP?
더욱 다채로운 즐거움을 제공하기 위해서 프리미엄 컨텐츠를 꾸준히
Right now, BP is just absolutely worthless, right? BP is just worthless. They needed PUBG is one of the only games that has their in-game currency like BP where it's worthless. Most other games, like, you can work and by playing the game you get the currency, whatever it is in the other game, like BP, and you can buy things, and eventually after so long of playing you can get something good, right? And it's like, we don't see that in PUBG.
진화시키고
It's like your time invested in the game should mean something.
기대 부탁드리고요. 새로운 재미를 탐구해 나가는 과정에 여러분도 함께해 주시길 기대하겠습니다.
2025년 라이브 서비스 고도화의 가장 중요한 방향성은 일반 매치, 경쟁전, 그리고 e스포츠 간의 게임 플레이 경험을 일원화하는 것입니다. 일반 매치에서는
Okay, I like this. I've been saying this for a long time. Your experience playing normal should be the same experience as ranked and competitive, right? The only difference between them should be that the rewards with ranked should be better than normal, and like driving people to want to play the more competitive side of it. And then therefore the sweatier you get, the further you're advancing, right? So if you're playing ranked and then you're dominating ranked and you're getting super sweaty, then maybe you want to try your luck in the competitive scene, right? I mean, that's kind of how most games work. If you go play Apex Legends, for example, the regular pub games are the same as their ranked games, which is the same as their comp scene. So that when you're an average Joe gamer watching the comp scene, it's the same as when you're playing it, right? So then you can try to implement that kind of stuff into the game. And PUBG does a really poor job of this right now because some things are in normal games, but they're not in ranked games. Some maps are in ranked, or some maps are in normal, but they're not in ranked. Some elements of the game are in normal, but they're not in ranked. And then that changes from ranked to comp. There's so much disparity.
맵 간 컨텐츠 차이를 최소화하여 신규 및 복귀
So this is good if they're going to start doing this.
부담을 줄이고 전반적인 배틀로얄 경험을
Unify the
통합할
battle
계획입니다.
royale experience. I agree with that. Unify the experience. That's what needs to happen.
이를 위해 맵별 아트적 색깔과
Yeah, keep the map's unique look. Exactly. So you have different maps, but transitioning from map, that's another thing we didn't even talk about, is that there are some things that are on some maps but aren't on others. So then people that are coming to the game, they're just fucking confused because they go, "What do you mean? What do you mean there's self-revive on this map but not the other map? What do you mean there's critical response kits here but not on the other map? What do you mean this map gets giant crate drops and the other one only has one crate? What do you mean?" Like it's so confusing. And half the time I played this game for over 13,000 hours, and I'm confused sometimes. So imagine someone coming to play the game for only like an hour or two a day, if that, how they're supposed to keep track of it all.
모드는 유지하되 전 맵의 스폰과 주요 컨텐츠를 어느 정도 통일하고 특정 맵에만 존재하는 요소 중 확장이 가능한 것은 모든 맵에 적용하며 반대로 게임 플레이에 영향이 적어 확장이 어려운 컨텐츠는 정리할 예정입니다. 또한 일반 매치의 다양한 컨텐츠를 경쟁전에도 적극적으로 도입하여 두 모드 간 플레이 경험의 차이를 줄이고
Yeah, narrowing the gameplay gap. Yeah, you need to just eliminate the gameplay gap, right? Eliminate the gameplay gap.
경쟁전에 대한 심리적 허들을 낮춰 더 많은 플레이어분들이 자연스럽게 경쟁전에 도전할 수 있도록 할 계획입니다. 이를 통해 일반 매치와 경쟁전이 보다 유기적으로 연결되며 경쟁전 플레이 스타일 또한 다양화될 것이라고 기대하고 있습니다. e스포츠 로드맵을 통해 발표드린 바와 같이 경쟁전과 e스포츠는 경험이 동기화될 예정이고
Okay, and now they're saying ranked and esports will be more synchronized. So the thing is that normal should be like ranked and like esports, just like we talked about. Growling Bear, thanks for the prime for 49 months, dude.
적으로는 일반 매치를 즐기는 플레이어가 경쟁전으로 또 e스포츠로 관심을 돌릴 수 있을 거라고 예상합니다.
Exactly. This is exactly how it's supposed to be.
gunplay에서는 크고 작은 업데이트와 밸런스 조정을 통해 보다 안정적인 전투 경험을 제공하려 했습니다.
Balance adjustments to gunplay. All right.
SMG 산탄총과 같은 비주류 총기를 좀 더
Yeah, we know about this. Making less favored weapons such as SMGs. They worked on them. We know that. Gosh, man. But I wish they would have worked on them in a different way, a different fashion. Zorbitaro, thanks for the prime for 6 months. SMGs should be very powerful up close, okay? But they should fall off over distance. But also, you should be rewarding good aim. The problem with SMGs, we talk about all the time. Like I'm wasting air talking about it now. The limb damage multiplier is probably the worst thing they could have ever implemented, because you're not helping people improve at the game. You're just rewarding their bad aim, right? It should all be headshot related. You want everyone to be aiming at the head. It's a video game, right? And up close, they should shred, and then their damage fall off over range. But right now, with the limb damage multiplier, you can spray people from range with SMGs, and if you miss and you hit their legs, you still do a lot of damage. It's a bad design. XLX, thanks for the tier 1 sub. So we know about that. They nerfed shotguns and then recently buffed them back 10% on the spread of the pellet spread from the shotguns to make them a little bit better. I feel like the shotguns feel pretty good now. They don't feel insanely overpowered. But I still think they could be tweaked a little bit more. Let's see what they say.
비주류 총기를 좀 더 대중적으로 끌어올렸고 부착물에서도 메타 변화를 만들어낼 수 있다는 점을 확인했습니다. 이러한
Okay, so yeah, they worked on the attachments, like the grips, right? They did a big change with how the grips work. I don't mind that. I think that's kind of cool, because now you see more of a shift in what people like. Some people like the thumb, some people like the vert, some people like the half. You're able to use the half grip instead of the lightweight grip on DMRs and things like that now, and the thumb grip. I like what they're doing with that. And hey, everyone's going to have their own opinion on what grips could and shouldn't be used. Back in the day, it was always you just grab the vert grip, right? You just grab this bad boy and you just use that one. So now it's nice to see that there's alternative options.
경험을 바탕으로 올해는 건플레이 업데이트를 확장하여 1. 메타 변화, 2. 정기적인 밸런스 업데이트, 3. 신규 콘텐츠 개발이라는 세 가지 큰 방향성 아래 개발이 진행됩니다. 올해는 고착화된 메타를 해소하고 다양한 플레이 스타일이 공존할 수 있도록 대규모 리밸런스를 계획하고 있습니다.
Okay, they're working to get away from the stagnant meta. Which what I'm assuming is AUG, MK, AUG, Mini, Barrel, SLR, Barrel, Dragunov, right? That's like the meta, right? And when they say stuff like this, it scares the crap out of me. Why does it scare the crap out of me? It scares the crap out of me because the way that they do weapon balancing is wild. Because some of these guns feel good in their current state, right? The AUG feels good. The barrel feels good. The M4 maybe needs a little bit of a boost. The Ace probably needs a boost. The Scar needs a little bit of a boost. But what happens is when they say that they're trying to make a meta change, what happens is they completely nerf the meta gun while buffing something else. And they totally scramble the way that the game operates. And it's not a good feeling. Really what happens is if the AUG feels like it's in a good spot and the barrel feels like it's in a good spot, and you think the M4 or the M4 and the Ace should be buffed a little bit, just buff them a little bit, leave the other ones where they are. So then when you get other guns on par, but they do different things, right? Like maybe the recoil is slightly different, but they're just as strong, or maybe the bullets, the damage falls off at a certain range different from another gun. I mean, there's so many different things that they can do to have guns at the same level, but based on what people want, they might choose something else. But what they're doing is they nerf one and buff the other, and it creates chaos. I don't know why they do that. This aim punch thing, I'm sure they're about to talk about SMG aim punch in the Gunplay labs. Wow, this would be a disaster.
지난 1월에는 건플레이 실험실을 통해 저지력 개념을 도입하여 플레이어 여러분들의 의견을 많이 받았습니다. 현재 저희는 저지력의 장점은 살리고
Okay, so they're refining the system to retain its advantages. Basically what they're doing is they're making it so that you can spam with an SMG from range or any type of gun, but they most advanced or basically they advantage SMGs, shotguns, and sniper rifles more than any other guns. Sniper rifles I can see because they have really no advantage over DMRs. So if you hit someone with a sniper, it should give them aim punch. So then the person with the DMR can't just keep firing on you, right? If you body shot them or something. There's real no advantage to a sniper in the game right now, other than just for the gratifying feeling of getting that bolty headshot. But with the SMGs, the problem is if you can get it to where you spray an SMG, you don't even have to get the kills fast if you're getting massive aim punch on your opponents to where they can't even shoot. So I hope they don't screw things up with this. This could be bad.
많았던 과도한 불편함에 대해서는 최대한 조정하는 쪽으로 개발하고 있습니다. 또한 하반기에는 현재 총기 선택지를 크게 바꿀 만
The latter half of the year. Okay, so we've got like another quarter left until we start seeing some of these changes.
메타 조정이 예정되어 있습니다. 이전까지는 이러한 대규모 변화가 자주 진행되지 않았지만 앞으로 매년 1회 정도는 대대적인 메타 변화를 통해 전투 경험을 환기할 계획입니다. 물론 이러한 변화가
We pray, chat. We pray to Pubg that this goes smoothly because wow, this could be wild in the best way, but it could also be wild in the worst way.
자연스럽게 펍지에 녹아들
And knowing how quickly they are to adapt, because the way that PUBG operates is when they go to implement something, they implement it, right? And it stays that way for a long time. A long time. Do you guys remember when there was a bug in the game when they made a change and anytime you would go upstairs, like walk upstairs, like a staircase, your game would like stutter and freeze and you couldn't move? They made the change in the game that made that bug happen, and it stayed there for 6 months. Anytime they put something in the game, it's gonna be there for like 6 months. They are not very quick at making changes. Once something hits the live server, it takes a long time for it to either go away or get reverted. So that's why this stuff makes me very nervous.
수 있도록 커뮤니케이션과 소프트 랜딩에 더욱 신경 쓰겠습니다. 건플레이는 펍지의 핵심 영역인 만큼 여러분의 의견을 적극적으로 수렴하여 유연하게 대응할 것을 약속드립니다.
Okay, so they're promising to be flexible and responsive to player feedback. So I'm hoping that if something happens and we log in one day after a patch and say, oh shit, the game is broken, that they'll say, hey guys, we're reverting to the last patch. We realize that this was a mistake, right? We hope that that could be the case.
드립니다. 아울러 올해에도 2개월 단위로 정기적인 밸런스 패치를 진행할 예정입니다. 특히 5.56mm와 7.62mm 총기의 균형 같은 중요한 요소는 꾸준히 관심을 쏟고 기민하게 대응하겠습니다. 또한 비주류 총기 케어의 기조도 유지하고자 합니다. SR, LMG, 권총과 같은 비주류 총기군도 개선하여
SRs, LMGs, and handguns. Okay, I have nothing wrong with this. Like I said earlier, I don't have a problem with them trying to buff up weapons that are less used. Just stop nerfing the guns that everyone already likes. Improve these other weapons and keep the other ones right where they are. All right? And then that way you'll have a control. You'll have in an experiment where you have a control to where you say, okay, the AUG is the baseline. Everyone uses the AUG. Let's start buffing these other guns and see if people start choosing that over this. But if you're changing the control, then you have no baseline.
궁극적으로는 앞서
I'd love to see the DP get a buff, the M249 get a little bit of a buff. You know, show some love to the LMGs. The handguns should be a little bit better. We talked about the Desert Eagle the other day, how I headshot someone with the Deagle and it only does 30 damage, 33 damage. It's like, come on, man. Like, pistols are harder to use than any of these other guns, and you land a really good shot with a Deagle, right? I don't know. Things could be different, I guess.
의 변화로 연결하고자 합니다. 지난해 많은 변화를 이끌어냈던 SMG 리밸런스가 대표적인 사례라고 볼 수 있겠네요. 마지막으로 메타 및 밸런스 업데이트 외에도 보다 신선한 건플레이 경험을 제공하기 위한 콘텐츠 연구도 꾸준히 진행 중에 있습니다. 총기의 액션 및 조작 감성에 관련한 R&D도 진행하고 있으며 여러분들이 기다리실 만한 새로운 신규 총기 및 부착물 도입도 예정되어 있으니
More new weapons and attachments. Okay, well, we'll see how this goes. Because on top, here's the challenge. The challenge is while they're trying to balance what we already have, they keep throwing in new things, right? They keep throwing in new items. It's very hard to balance when you keep throwing in wrenches. We'll just see. We'll have to see what happens.
경쟁전은 2024년에 이어
Ranked mode, big change. So here in NA, this impacts us a lot, chat. Maybe we'll be able to fire up the first NA ranked lobby in the last 5 years. Maybe this will get people excited.
2025년도에도 몇 가지 큰 변화를 거칩니다. 티어 개편을 통해 티어 상승의 즐거움을 더 많은 플레이어들이 경험할 수 있도록 하고 각 티어에 대한 명예는 강화하는 것인데요.
Tier changes,
올해 6월을
okay.
목표로 다음과 같은 변경 사항들을 준비하고 있습니다. 먼저 티어 개편입니다. 플래티넘과 다이아몬드 사이에 새로운 티어가 신설됩니다. 또 디비전을 기존 5단계에서 4단계로 축소하여 티어
So it's a standard rank system, right? Where you start at a certain level and then you go through the tiers and then you advance to the next tier or the next level. Go through those tiers, then get to the next level. So they're just removing one of the tiers and adding another level. And I don't know. To us here in NA, this really doesn't have any impact because rank doesn't even pop to begin with. So
티어 상승의 즐거움이 더욱 크게 와닿을 수 있도록 만들고자 합니다. 최상위
someone just asked, I haven't played since 2018. What's the reason no one plays ranked? The reason no one plays ranked is because of the current state of the game. It's in such a bad state that most of the people in the Western regions opt not to play the game, so there aren't enough players to pop a ranked lobby. That's why.
경쟁전 플레이어들을 위한 신규 티어도 추가됩니다. 기존의 탑 500 시스템을 신규 최상위 티어로 대체하여 최상위 플레이어들이 시즌이 종료될 때까지 긴장감을 놓을 수 없도록 하려고 합니다. 더불어 현재 시즌과 이전 시즌의 티어 노출을 강화하여 플레이어가 자신의 성장과 성취를 더욱 뚜렷하게 확인하는 동시에 다른 플레이어들에게도 뽐낼 수 있게 할 것입니다. 플레이어들이 경쟁전을 지속적으로 플레이할 수 있도록 동기부여하는 것도 중요한 목표입니다. 2024년에는 티어 보상을 강화하고 경쟁전 플레이 포인트 보상을
Like people who play ranked over in EU, people who are over in Asia, I'm like, I'm sure these changes are cool, right? We just don't get ranked. Toboggan, thanks for the prime for 37 months. Yo, Gordy, thanks for purchasing some merch. Thank you, dude.
경쟁전 보상을 더욱 가치 있고 의미 있게 구성할 계획입니다.
배틀그라운드는 팀 플레이가 핵심인 게임이라고 생각합니다. 이에 따라 여러분이 꾸준히 요청해 주셨던
Reviewing support of duo in ranked. That could be big. Because if people want to play ranked, right? They may not have enough to like queue in for a whole squad, but people might think, oh, duos is more manageable. Duo ranked in NA could possibly be a thing, I would imagine. There's a chance, a better chance than squads. That's interesting.
듀오 경쟁전에 대한 검토도 진행 중인데요. 시점 및 파티 형태와 무관하게 한 시즌 내 지속적으로 상위 티어를 목표로 플레이하는 것이 가능한 방안으로 고민 중입니다. 또한 실력 기반 매치메이킹이 더욱 원활하게 이루어질 수 있도록 RP 시스템 또한 꾸준히 개선해 나갈 예정입니다.
2025년 PUBG AI는 보다
The
근본적인
AI
변화를
system.
맞이하게
Here we
됩니다.
go.
2024년에는 작은 규모의
Here we go.
업데이트들이
AI,
있었는데요.
baby, the
PUBG
bots.
개발팀 내부적으로는 확장
This is what we're really concerned about here in NA, right? Because here in NA, for about 80% of the day, we get 50% or more bots. All right, so this is good for us.
성이 낮은 기존 AI 구조에서 벗어나 보다 퀄리티 높은 AI 시스템을 구축하기 위한 R&D를 많이 진행하였습니다. 이제는 본격적으로 AI를 개편하고 향후 몇 년간 지속적으로 발전시키는 과정을 시작하려고 합니다. AI를 단순하고 답답한 더미봇이 아닌 다양한 수준과 패턴을 갖춘 AI로 리뉴얼하여
Redesigning the AI with different skill levels. So does that mean that you're going to have like really bad bots and then you're going to have shroud bots running around? Is that what's going on here? Unshaven Yak, thanks to the Prime for 13.
PUBG의 플레이와 자연스럽게 어우러지는 경험을 제공할 것입니다. 여기서 우려하실 만한 난이도 문제를 짚고 넘어가자면 AI의 고도화가 게임의 난이도 상승을 의미하지는 않습니다. PUBG에서 AI의 방향성은 플레이어에게 위협적인 봇을 만드는 것이 아닙니다. 저희는 AI가 초보자 수준의 행동 패턴을 갖춤과 동시에 사람처럼 자연스러운 움직임을 보여주는 데에 가장 초점을 맞추고 있습니다.
Moving in a natural way. Hold on. So the person that was moving was not the bot. The bot's in the background. Watch this. The bot's over here. Okay? Watch the bot.
AI의 방향성은 플레이어에게 위협적인 봇을 만드는 것이 아닙니다. 저희는 AI가 초보자 수준의 행동 패턴을 갖춤과 동시에 사람처럼 자연스러운 움직임을 보여주는 데에 가장 초점을 맞추고 있습니다. 행동 패턴
I just think bots are bad for a game like this. Maybe I'm in the minority, man. I just think bots are bad. I think that they should, if you don't have enough players, they should just start with a smaller circle or something. Like, get bots out of the game. Bots frustrate people more than anything. Bots, you'll be playing your game and a bot will start shooting at you and it will blow your cover. So a lot of times, people may be afraid to kill bots because if you shoot and kill a bot, the sweaty players in the game or the more experienced players in the game they're actively looking at the kill feed. So they'll hear the shots, they'll see the kill feed, they'll see that it was a real player killing a bot, and they know that you're there. And it just ruins the experience of the game. Because at that point, it's not natural anymore. The game is not natural.
패턴에 대한 예시를 들자면 AI가 랜덤한 블루존 변화에 대응하여 빠르게 인서클 한다거나 교전 상황에서 멍하니 서 있지
Now, because the other reality is that a lot of times wherever there's bots, players may not actually be there, right? The way that the bots are probably programmed is like, okay, bots, you land somewhere random, and then when the zone shifts, they're programmed to just go to the zone, right? They go to the zone, and then the next zone shifts, and they just go to the zone. So bots are actually in places that people may not have ever thought to go, and which is why so frequently they ruin your location, they blow your cover, you're shocked to see that they're there, and it's just not good.
빠르게 은폐하거나 가끔씩은 연막탄으로 시야를 가리는 등 플레이
So I'd like to ask once again, we're going to play the game. Who asked for bots? Who here asked for them? Feel free to say no. Feel free to say not me. Because I didn't ask for bots. And really, what I would say about it is I like the idea of a bot only mode. You should be able to queue in solo, duo, or squad with yourself or your friends and just go and play against bots all day long if you want. Just keep doing, you know, keep playing bot games if that's what you want. But, you know, that should be the extent of it.
플레이어와 유사하게 행동하도록 개발했습니다. 개편된 AI는 전투 난이도는 제한화돼 랜드 루트 서바이브의 모든 과정에서 이전보다 발전된 모습을 보여줄 것입니다. AI 시스템을 개발하는 과정은 매우 복잡하며 섬세한 조정이 수반되어야 합니다. 따라서 일회성의 업데이트로 끝나는 것이 아닌 2025년을 기점으로 향후 수년에 걸쳐 꾸준히 완성도를 올려나가고자 합니다.
Yeah, but it's not casual mode. Casual mode, you're paired up against like 4 other teams. So there's a total of like 12 or 16 real players in a casual mode. What I'm talking about is you don't have those other players. Dude, there's times where I've had people tell me that there's super sweaty players that join into the casual mode just because they like to blast people in the casual mode and then, you know, just get out. You know, they think it's funny, whatever. The whole idea to me with the casual mode is just that. It's supposed to be casual. You want to get on with your buddies and just have some fun laughing, driving around, blasting bots, and who cares, right? You just have a good laugh and that's it. But the super sweaties still join the casual lobbies, probably because maybe they want to be better than they actually are, and it makes them feel good to just go and blast some noobs trying to play in casual mode. You always have those types of people in every game. So my point is, the casual mode should literally be just you or your friend or your squad against all bots. And that should be the extent of the bots in this game.
2024년은 클랜 시스템에 많은 변화가 일어났던 한 해였습니다.
The clan system. The one thing we're looking for here is an increase of player base. Get us to 1,000. 1,000 people in the clan. That's what we want.
클랜 전용 미션과 교환소 등 다양한 새로운 기능을 추가하며 더욱 활발한 소셜 경험을 제공했는데요.
These are all cool things.
플레이어들이 소속감을
Clan rewards are cool.
함께 게임을 즐길 수 있는 계기가 더욱 많아짐으로써 게임에 다시 접속할 수 있는 동기를 얻은 점을 확인할 수 있었습니다. 클랜 시스템은 업데이트에 따라 플레이어분들의 반응이 가장 크게 나타나는 콘텐츠 중 하나로 2025년에도 저희는 지속적으로
Increase the player amount.
신규 기능 추가 등의 업데이트를 진행할 예정입니다. 앞으로도 클랜이 더 많은 플레이어들에게 자연스럽게 함께하고 싶은 공간이 될 수 있도록 발전시켜 나가겠습니다.
서바이버 패스와 제작소 패스는 펍지 게임 플레이 경험에서 빼놓을 수 없는 요소입니다. 2023년 말에 저희는 서바이버 패스 보상에 도면과 지코인을 추가하고 원하는 순서대로 보상을 골라서 받을
Okay, the pass. They said that they started adding schematics and stuff into the pass. That's a good thing. Most every game, if they do a pass, you pay money for the pass. You get whatever skins are in the pass, which most of the time with PUBG, the skins that are available are not that great. But once you hit the end of your pass, you get something of value, which in this case is the schematic. That's what their system is, and schematics are used to upgrade your progressive skins and things like that. So to allow a guaranteed valuable item is good. I think that's good. Could be better, but it's still good.
받을 수 있는 시스템을 도입하는 등 더 많은 분들이 패스 콘텐츠를 편하게 즐기면서도 만족감을 느끼실 수 있도록 개선했습니다. 그 결과 2024년 내내 플레이어분들이 지속적인 관심과 참여를 보내주셨는데요. 이에 감사드리며 2025년에는 더욱 발전된 경험을 제공하고자 합니다. 패스는 단순한 상품이 아니라 플레이어분들께 꾸준한 플레이 동기와 성취감을 제공하는 게임의 핵심 콘텐츠입니다. 그렇기에 새로 출시된 패스가 취향에 맞지 않을 경우 아쉬움을 느끼실 수 있다고 생각했는데
Yeah, it might leave you feeling underwhelmed. Like if you release a pass and it has a bunch of dookie skins in it, you know? It's just like it's almost like the more effort you put into something, the better received it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like if you don't put a lot of effort into your pass and you put a bunch of like doo-doo skins in the pass and stuff like that, who's really going to want to buy it? Right? let's get some better skins in the game. And maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree, right? Because I don't know. I don't think the vast majority of the skins that are released are any good. That's why I'm sitting on 6,000 coupons and 220,000 Gcoin. You know, let's get some good skins in this game.
인데요. 올해는 더 다양한 선택지와 즐길 거리를 제공하기 위해 여러 개의 패스를
And I understand, right? Maybe the different regions like different things. Would it be that hard to just have 2 passes? You have different options for skins and they do the same thing. You just say, hey, if you're from this region and you want the pink lingerie and the skirts and stuff, like you can get this one. But if you want the more military style stuff or more, you know, darker themed, you know, realistic looking skins, then you could have 2 different skin passes, but they're both for the same season, right? I don't know. I don't know how that could be that hard. I'll probably end up talking more about this at the end.
동시에 즐길 수 있는 시스템을 마련할 예정입니다. 이를 기반으로 서바이버 패스와 제작소 패스를 지속적으로 출시하는 한편 특정 콘텐츠를 더 재미있게 즐길 수 있도록 새로운 유형의 패스도 선보일 예정입니다. 궁극적으로는 패스가 플레이어 여러분께 억지로 해야 하는 숙제가 아닌 자연스럽게 즐길 수 있는 콘텐츠로 다가갈 수 있도록 만들고자 합니다. 새로운 패스에 대한 자세한 내용은 추후 공개될 예정입니다. 앞으로도 더 다채로운 패스 콘텐츠를 통해 여러분이 펍지를 재미있게 즐기실 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
저희는 그동안 밀수품 쿠폰, 제작소 상자,
Okay, the value and usability of BP.
BP로 구매할 수 있도록 하고 탈 것 스킨과 커스텀 로비 스킨 등 다양한 BP 상품을 선보이며 BP 가치와 활용성을
Get more BP
높이기 위해
items.
노력해왔는데요. 이러한 노력을 2025년에는 한층 더 확대하고자 합니다.
우선 상점에서 G코인으로만 구매할 수 있었던 일부 상품을 G코인과 BP 중 원하는 재화를 선택하.
Oh, okay, cool. This is cool. They're working on a system that you can decide whether you want to use Gcoin or BP to buy these items. This is a good thing. This is what I was talking about earlier, where if you play this game and you invest enough hours into it and you get enough BP, you should be able to buy some decent things in the store. I mean, if I know I just said that I don't like any of the skins, but that's my opinion, right? Everyone has their own opinion. I have mine. And if you happen to like a skin in the game, you can buy it with BP. That would be cool. But it should be, you know, relative. Maybe it's something like 15,000 BP to 1,000 Gcoin or something like that, right? I mean, it's got to be, it can't be something outlandish, right? Where it's like you need to spend 500,000 BP on a $10 item, right? That doesn't make any sense. It has to be the proper ratio so that you can directly see your playtime translate into an item in the game, right?
하여 구매할 수 있는 시스템을 준비하고 있습니다. 이를 통해 캐릭터를 꾸미는 재미가 일부 구매층에게만 한정되는 것이
That's
아니라
good. I like
더 많은
this.
플레이어분들께서
Good.
보편적으로
Good. I
즐기실
like
수
this a
있는
lot.
경험이 되길 바랍니다. 또한 이러한 변화를 통해 BP의 가치가 더욱 높아지고
The value,
모든
exactly.
분들의 게임 플레이가 한층 더
Yes.
풍부해지는 선순환 효과가 일어나길 기대하고 있습니다.
펍지 초기부터 많은 플레이어 분들께서 BP의 가치와 활용성 증대에 대한 의견을 꾸준히 보내주셨는데요. 아직 미흡한 부분이 있을 수 있지만 앞으로의 변화를 지켜봐 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
This is good.
게임
This is
플레이를 통해
positive.
얻을 수 있는 핵심 재화인 BP의 가치가 높아진다는 것은 곧 게임 플레이 가치 역시 높아진다는 의미이기에 앞으로도 다양한 액션을 통해 BP 활용성을 지속적으로 발전시켜 나가겠습니다.
펍지는 플레이어와 다양한 콘텐츠 제작자들과
We believe that PUBG has grown alongside its players. Do we not exist? Are we fucking invisible? Is the Western region invisible? Bro, I feel like I feel like we're not heard. I feel like we just don't exist to them. That's how I feel.
함께 성장해온 게임이라고 생각합니다. 배틀로얄을 비롯해 아케이드, 사용자 지정 매치, 샌드박스 모드 등 플레이어들은 각자의 방식으로 펍지를 즐겨주고 있기에 저희 개발팀은 이러한 경험을 더 주고자 많은 고민을 해왔습니다. 단순히 개발팀이 제공하는 콘텐츠 소비를 넘어 플레이어들이 직접 원하는 콘텐츠를 제작하고 공유하며 즐길 수 있는 환경을 마련하는
Oh, are
것이
they talking about
장기적으로
user-generated
중요하다고
content, the
판단했습니다.
modding?
이를 실현하기 위해 펍지 UGC 프로젝트를 시작했습니다. 펍지 UGC 프로젝트는 올해 첫 알파
This is the modding. This is what we've been waiting to hear about. The modding, okay? So, my idea with the modding is I think it would be great to take like an Erangel map, leave it just how it is. Alter the blue zone settings, right? Make them slower but continuously moving, instantly kill anyone that's in the blue, but you don't need a car. You can run faster than the zone, so you just need to identify where the zone is and immediately start running in, because you don't need a car. And then get rid of limb damage multiplier with SMGs, alter the way some of the guns are. We should get rid of things like panzers, the folded shields, like, you know, all these different inflatable boats. Get rid of that stuff from the game and be able to just implement the stuff that we're talking about and just see how the game is. And maybe we play it for a while and then go, yeah, maybe the instant blue zone death isn't a good thing, but tinker with it, right? Be able to tinker with the settings. That's what we're looking to do. I'm hoping that they're going to say that we'll be able to do that.
버전을 시작으로 플레이어분들의 피드백을 바탕으로 단계적으로 확장시켜 나가볼 예정입니다. 자신만의 세계와 룰을 만들어 보고 싶은 플레이어분들이
craft our own world.
혹은 다른 플레이어들과 펍지를 더욱 재밌게 즐길 수 있는 컨텐츠가 되길 희망합니다.
저희가 준비한 UGC 프로젝트는 라운드와 포인트 시스템을 기반으로 플레이어가 스스로 모드의 규칙을 구성하여
Their own rules for the mode. This is as player spawn device. Okay. This looks like it's a custom game.
진행 방식과 승리 규칙 등을 정할 수 있습니다. 또한 월드 편집 기능이 추가되어 플레이어가 원하는 건물과 에셋을 직접 배치하는 방식으로
So you can remove and add assets as you see, like that are in the game. So they're just basically saying, here's a list of all our assets. You can remove and add as you please. Hey, JFK Jr., thanks for the Prime for 30.
자신만의 월드를 구성할 수 있도록 개발 중에 있습니다. 25년 중 선보일 초기 버전은
It's launching in 2025, available in custom match. So it is a custom match. So you're not going to be able to just set up a server or whatever and just have people join in. It's literally a custom game. Which I mean, I guess is better than nothing, right? But the reality is I'd like to be able to set up a server to run this stuff so that anyone can just join in. Fluxo Bills, hey, welcome in. I don't know. The whole idea with the custom games things is, I don't know. If I'm hosting the custom games, it's hard for me to play because everyone has the damn stream open, right? So how do people not stream snipe in the custom games? It's just natural for people to know where I am, stuff like that. So like it wouldn't be something that I'd be able to personally experience. I'd be basically hosting the games and relying on feedback from everybody else, right?
해보실 수 있는 형태로
And we would need enough people to fill the games, right?
준비할 예정인데요. 다양한 모드로 확장 가능한 형태로 개발 중이지만 우선 팀 데스매치 형태의 모드를 제공하는 것을 첫 번째 목표로 진행 중입니다. 물론 플레이어가 직접 제작한 모드를 저장하고 필요할 때 불러와 사용할 수 있는 기능도 함께 제공되는데요. 스스로 제작한 모드뿐만 아니라 서로 제작한 모드를 주고 받아가며
They don't touch on, at least they haven't yet touched on being able to modify the weapons and like their damage and things like that, right? That's what I'm kind of concerned with. From what I've seen, if we're able to add and remove assets, I should be able to go in and say no inflatable boats, no panzers, no self AEDs, no any of this stuff. You can already in a custom game change the blue zone. So like, I think that we'd be able to already do that. But what I'm talking about is adjusting the weapons so that we can do our own weapon balancing, right? If the weapon, like if it was a list and you can see the weapon stats and you can just do with like a scroller and drag it so that you can do certain things, I think that would be huge for something that lots of people want to see on our end. Be able to do changes like what we talked about before, like no enemy stealing of blue chips. You know, that's getting more detailed into the other aspects of the game, because there's so much that goes into PUBG. But if you can't change any of those things, I don't know. This looks like a more glorified custom match.
다양한 모드들을 쉽게 플레이할 수 있도록 준비 중에 있습니다. PUBG UGC를 도입하는 가장 큰 목적은 배틀그라운드의 핵심 요소를 맞춤화된 공간에서 쇼폼 형태로 즐길 수
Which I
있도록
guess
하는
is
것입니다.
okay, but it's not what anyone was thinking it's going to be.
나가기에 의미가 있는 컨텐츠입니다. 크리에이터분들은 물론 다양한 플레이어분들의 많은 관심과 참여 부탁드립니다.
PUBG의 25년 로드맵 공개를 맞아 콘솔 플레이어 여러분께 기쁜 소식을 하나
Here we go,
전해드립니다.
console update.
그동안
We know we have a lot of console people in here.
콘솔 플레이어분들께서 현세대 콘솔 버전과 그래픽 업그레이드를 원한다는 의견을
Graphical enhancements for console.
저희 개발팀은 이러한 의견에 귀 기울여 현세대 콘솔 버전의 서비스 전환을 진행해보고자 합니다. 기존
Okay, so let's go back here. They're moving
의견에 귀 기울여 현세대 콘솔
to
버전
transition PUBG's console service to the current gen hardware. My initial thought on this and my initial reaction is, how many people are still on the older consoles? What percentage of people? Right? And what is considered the old console? Is that like, because what the latest one is what? PlayStation 5 and Xbox. I can't even remember which number they're on now. So is that going to make their game unplayable and force them to have to upgrade to a PlayStation 5, or I guess it's listed at the top right there, Xbox Series SX? So is this good or bad? Will a change like this force people to buy the new console, and they will, and then they'll be happy with it? Will they not be able to, and it'll just eliminate them from playing? I mean, I guess at some point you have to just, you know, you have to cut the umbilical cord, right? And just be like, hey, we're moving on. You have to have the new console to play, right? At some point you have to do that, because what if they stay right where they're at for like a certain amount of years, and the next series of consoles comes out and you're still on PlayStation 4, right? You have to keep up with the times so that your game is up on that level. So part of me thinks this is a really good thing, but the concern is that I hope you don't lose a bunch of people in the console community. BlazeOps, thanks for the Prime for 42 months.
진행해보고자 합니다. 기존 콘솔 버전은 9세대 하드웨어 성능 한계로 인해 맵 로딩 속도, FPS, 그래픽 품질 등 여러 기술적인 제약이 있어 왔습니다. 또한 매달 진행하는 콘텐츠 업데이트로 인해 메모리 사용량이 꾸준히 증가하여
Memory usage increased for consoles. That's good.
어려움이 존재하는 것도 사실입니다. 현세대 콘솔 버전 전환을 통해 보다 강력한 하드웨어 성능을 활용할 수 있게 되었으며, 이를 바탕으로 전반적인 플레이 환경 개선을 기대하고 있습니다.
So it looks like the people who are on the newer gen series will see performance increases. It'll be good. It's just how many people are going to be left out, right?
기존 콘솔 플레이어분들이 겪어왔던 불편함을 최소화하고 보다 쾌적한 PUBG 경험을 제공할 계획입니다. 현세대 콘솔 서비스 전환은 엑스박스와 플레이스테이션 모두 진행될 예정이며 25년도 말 동시 출시하는 것을 목표로 진행하고 있습니다. 보다 향상된 콘솔 플레이 경험을 선사하기 위해 최선을 다하겠습니다. 콘솔 플레이어 여러분, 앞으로도 많은 기대와 응원 부탁드립니다.
Actually, Beard God, thanks for the prime. For 4 months, thank you, dude.
공정한 플레이 환경 유지를 위해 지속적으로
Hey, anti-cheat, here we
시스템을 강화하고
go.
있습니다. 최근 DMA
Chad, I've been looking at these like every week. Their bans, dude. They're banning so many accounts. It's like 100,000 a week or something like that. It's something crazy. 80 to 100,000.
하이퍼바이저 등 고도화된 기술을 활용한 불법 프로그램의 등장과 함께 기존 탐지 시스템을 우회하려는 시도가 늘어나고 있는데요. 이에 대응하기 위해 새로운 탐지 및 방어 기술을 개발하고 있으며 2025년에는 보다 빠르고 정교한 대응이 가능하도록 안티치트 기술을 고도화 예정입니다. 또한 윈도우 OS 보호 기능을 활용하는 방안도 검토 중입니다. 윈도우에서는 다양한 보안 기능을 제공하지만 기본적으로 비활성화되어 있어 불법 프로그램들이 이를 우회하는 데 악용하는 경우가 많습니다. PUBG는 게임 진시 또는 특정 영역에서 이러한 보호 기능을 활성화하는 방안도 검토 중이며 여러 부서와 협의하여 최적의 방안을 마련할 계획입니다. 이와 함께 머신러닝 모델을 적극 활용하여 불법 프로그램 사용자 탐지 및 대응을 고도화할 예정입니다. 2023년부터 불법 프로그램 사용자들의 패턴과 불법 프로그램의 특징을 학습하여 ML 모델을 개발해 왔으며
Analyzing the patterns of cheaters. How about that one cheater that we had, chat, where he was under the ground in a car in the water, honking, following us around? Something tells me that there could be like some easy code that gets put in the game that says, hey, if someone's in a car and they're under the map in the water, they should just be removed, right? It should just happen. I get it that sometimes maybe someone finds some weird bug and they fall through the map, but they're not getting in a car and driving through the water under the map.
이를 어뷰징과 불법 프로그램 사용자 탐지에 활용하고 있습니다. 2025년에는 탐지 대상을 확장하고 모델의 정확도를 높여 더욱 강력한 대응이 가능하도록 할 계획입니다. 마지막으로 계정 보호도 더욱 강화됩니다. 일부 계정이 도용되어 불법 프로그램 사용에 악용되는 사례가 발생하고 있는 만큼 플레이어 여러분의 계정을 안전하게 보호할 수 있는 추가적인 보안 조치를 마련하고 있으며 빠른 시일 내에 도입할 예정입니다. PUBG는 공정한 경쟁이 최우선이라는 원칙 아래 불법 프로그램에 대한 대응을 더욱 정교하게 다듬어 나가겠습니다.
I mean, this is all good. You need to have a team working on anti-cheat.
개발과 모니터링을 이어갈 예정이니
But you're always chasing the tail, right? Because as soon as they catch on to something, they find something new, and there's cheaters in every game, right? So how do you deal with it? I don't know.
앞으로 많은 관심과 협조 부탁드립니다.
This is it. The moment we've been waiting for, baby. Will CDOM be right and UE5 comes out by the end of the year and I have to pay him 5 subs, or will my prediction come true and UE5 will be released 2027 and CDOM will have to give the Bobster 5 subs?
작년 로드맵을 통해 공유드린 바와 같이 저희는 현재 언리얼 엔진 5 도입 프로젝트를 진행 중인데요. 이는 향후 PUBG가 더욱 확장될 수 있는.
Hey, as he mentioned, they brought up Unreal 5 in last year 2024's roadmap. So now we're over a year since then. I think they even released 2024. The 2024 roadmap was released earlier than this one. So it's been like a year and a month, something like that. And I don't know. So by the end of this year, that means they've been working on it for 2 years.
개발적 기반을 다지는 중요한 과정입니다. 다만 언리얼 엔진 5 도입이 완전히 새로운
This doesn't mean a completely new PUBG. So he's saying right now that they are not launching UE5 PUBG as a PUBG 2. I think that is a huge miscalculation. I think that is a mistake. Like, just like when Counter-Strike went from CSGO to CS2 and they just said, hey, basically we're porting everything to Unreal 5. They called it CS2 and it's wildly popular. You're able to market it. Counter-Strike 2, you know, it's coming out, you know, all this, blah, blah, blah. They implemented some new features with UE5 and they called it a new game. And the thing is that when PUBG, if they're going to UE5, they should be able to market it and advertise it as PUBG 2. And that would generate huge hype. Huge, because just a natural slow roll into PUBG UE5, what hype does that generate? Who's that bringing back in the Western region? Who's going to come out and say, "Oh, they're releasing one of their maps in UE5 and just come try it out, I guess." I don't know. From a marketing standpoint, it doesn't seem that good. Obviously, I'm hyped about UE5. I think UE5 is going to be a great thing for PUBG. But if you don't create a moment where the game's going to launch and you're generating a bunch of hype around it, you will not see growth in the Western region.
아니며 오히려 지금 여러분이 사랑하는 펍지의 본질은 최대한 유지하면서도 미래를 대비한 기술적 도약을 준비하는 일이라고 봐주시면 좋겠습니다. 현재 언리얼 엔진 5 도입은
The adoption is currently in the pre-production stage. So it's still in its infancy. Where is this? It's Ferry Pier. Okay, there's the sign. Yeah, this is the beach. The warehouses are behind, like, shoot. I'm trying to point in the right direction. The warehouses are like over here. And then you go down this way. This looks really good. This looks really good.
프리프로덕션 단계에 있고 가장 먼저 체감할 수 있는 변화는
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about this. It looks really good. I like it, but they basically said this is in the initial stages, right? And this is just a screenshot from it, right? So that means that they need to be doing what they did here for the whole map, right? Everywhere. And then there needs to be like, you need to go through it and make sure that it's smooth, right? Because just because something looks good doesn't mean that the performance is there, right? And I feel like that's where a lot of games falter, is just because something looks good doesn't mean that it feels good, right? Like, what if we get into this game and we're at 60 frames? I mean, that would be horrible, right? So, of course, this looks good, but how does it feel, right? And that's all part of what goes into changing this over. Because you got all those assets, the guns, the way that the explosions, the way everything interacts with the map, the vehicles, you name it. And it all has to be transitioned to the new engine. So screenshots look good, but how does it feel?
비주얼 업그레이드가 될 것입니다. 우선 그래픽 퀄리티를 높이고 더 확장성 있는 개발
It
환경을
looks
만드는
great.
것이
I mean,
1차 목표입니다.
this looks great. Hey, I was right. The warehouses are there. Look at that. App knowledge. But the trees look good. Hey, maybe it's a lot better than what I'm thinking it's going to be, but I just know that this is going to be a massive undertaking. Huge. And when they say that they're just starting out, there's
그 이후에
not a screenshot. The water's moving. Hold on. Okay, yeah, let's see. Hold on.
우선 그래픽 퀄리티를 높
That's a good call. Okay, we're gonna go back. I didn't see the water moving. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Hold on.
오히려 지금 여러분이 사랑하는 펍지의 본질은 최대한 유지하면서
Here we go. Let's see.
미래를 대비한 기술적
The water
도약을
was
준비하는
moving.
일이라고 봐주시면 좋겠습니다. 현재 언리얼 엔진 5 도입은 프리프로덕션 단계에 있고 가장 먼저 체감할 수 있는 변화는 비주얼 업그레이드가 될 것입니다. 우선
Okay, nice.
그래픽 퀄리티를 높이고
I like
더
that.
확장성 있는 개발 환경을 만드는 것이 1차 목표인데요. 그 이후에 새로운 기능과 시스템
Archaea, thanks for the Prime for 12 months. All right, so hey, I saw some flies too, or birds. Something there. Now, the other thing, though, that we don't know, okay, so yeah, it wasn't a screenshot. It's a video, or I don't know. Is it a render? We don't know yet, right? We're all in the dark, right? So we don't know. It could have been a render.
을 점진적으로 도입해 나갈 수 있을 것 같습니다. 물론 이러한 변화들을 단순히 기술적 실험을 통해서 진행하기보다는 플레이어 여러분의 피드백을 충분히 반영하면서 신중하게 적용해 나갈 계획입니다. 올해 안에 언리얼 엔진 5 전환과 관련해 일부 진행 사항을 공유할 기회가 있을 것 같은데요. 기대가 크신
What did they just say? UE transition within the year. Let's see. Hold on. We will carefully implement these changes while incorporating player feedback. We expect to share some progress within the year. I mean, I think that all but says that it's definitely not coming out this year. They're sharing progress within the year. I think my estimate of 2027 is pretty good. That's a pretty good estimate, I'd say.
기회가 있을 것 같은데요. 기대가 크신 만큼 저희도 많은 준비를 하고 있지만 아직 갈 길이 멀고 개발해야 할 것들도 많습니다.
There's a long way to go with much development ahead. That even makes me think 2027 is pushing it. That is wild.
엔진 변경에 따른 변화와 더불어 장기적인 관점에서 펍지의 미래를 준비하는 과정에 가깝다는 점을 꼭 이해해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
Step towards shaping PUBG's long-term future. Yeah. Once again, like I said, gosh, it could totally transform PUBG's long-term future if you released it as PUBG 2. Bundle it together, market it with a release date instead of drip feeding it in, right? Because if you just keep drip feeding and just giving us little by little by little, it doesn't have the impact. It doesn't have the wow factor of, you know, you'd have the whole Western region, right, who hasn't played PUBG in years, get this game and go in for the first time and be amazed, right, and blown away, instead of people slowly trickling in and, oh yeah, it's okay, I guess, when's it gonna be done? I don't know. It's like games that come out in beta nowadays and they don't have a finished product and their game ends up being DOA before the final actual game comes out, right? What up, Kiki?
오늘 저희가 준비한 2025년 펍지의 개발 로드맵은 여기까지입니다. 저희 개발팀은 8주년, 9주년, 그리고 10주년을 넘어 더 오랫동안 여러분과 함께하기 위해 끊임없이 노력하고자 합니다.
They're continuing the journey beyond our 8th, 9th, and even 10th anniversary. Is this relating to the UE5? Because the 10th anniversary would be 2027.
많은 관심과 피드백을 기대하며 앞으로도 변함없는 사랑과 성원 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.
Man. PUBG esports. All right, I think we're done. Yeah, we're done with the video. Oh my gosh. I don't want to hear about TPP esports and all that jazz. Well, my thoughts. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, everything that they talked about in here, I mean, it just seems like we're going to get more of what we got last year. 2024, all over again. Right? They're going to sprinkle in some skins. some collabs with some people and like brands that, you know, at least people here in the Western region have no idea who they are. They're going to do more gambling stuff with new cars. Who knows what that's going to be? Ferrari. I don't know if things have been announced. Like, there's a couple really good things that they said they're going to do. Like, I see some new gameplay content. Like, there's some items that I think would be kind of fun to experiment with. But like I said, if they take up the pool of items, it just takes away from the game, in my opinion. The clan system, they're not, they didn't mention anything about increasing the amount of people in it. The modding looks underwhelming. And the fact that UE5 is probably far from being released, it is a little disheartening. It's concerning. And all this stuff that they said that they're working on, right? New modes, Pubg Vampire Survivors, this Contender System, making your character unique. They're working on revamping the AI, all that stuff. To me, those are all resources that could be applied and redirected to UE5, to getting that out faster, to then making a better product, to then reviving the game and making it better, right? That's how I see it. Basically, they're hiring these studios to make these other game modes and applying resources and money and investing that into doing all of that. When, like I joked about earlier today, who's asking for it? Who's asking for that? I think everyone that's playing PUBG is asking for UE5 and modding, real modding. I think that's what most people want. The most exciting. And you know, I know a lot of people know this, that I used to work in aerospace, and our company made parts for the turbine engines, right? So that's what we did. We made turbine engine components for aerospace for the engines, right? And basically what PUBG's doing with their resources, making these other game modes and stuff, it'd be like when I'm working at the aerospace company and the owner come in one day and say, hey, guess what? We're going to go, and instead of having our engineers working on some more turbine engine components, we're going to try to go make a shelf and try to sell it at Costco. Do we make engine components or do we make shelves? I don't get it. So there really wasn't much said in this video, unfortunately. And I guess, yeah, they're working on things, but we can't really expect too much. I have to wonder and question this massive disconnect between Crafton and the Western region. Everything that they're coming out with, they say that they're basing it off of player feedback. Whose feedback, right? Who's telling them to do all this stuff? So realistically, either they don't know what they're doing, or the Asian region has a totally different perspective and desire than the Western region, than what we're looking for. So what should be the proper step? I mean, I don't know. Should they just split the game into two and just say, hey, we're taking this half of the game for the Eastern region and we are directing it down this path where everyone can have their pink skins, their lingeries and their thongs and their bikinis and their pajama parties, right? And you can have the K-pop stuff and all of those different collabs, and you take their game and go that direction. And then we have the Western region where we take the game and implement skins that they like, that are more like military style skins, Terminator collabs, mobster collabs, and we make adjustments to the weapons like the Western region wants. And then you take your game and you design it and develop it in two different directions, right? Am I missing something? Because they say that, oh, we're taking the player feedback, and yet everything that we see that's being implemented, I don't know one person that's asked for that stuff. So that's it. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens with Unreal 5. We'll wait and see what happens with the modding, and we'll just see. We'll see what happens. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed.